Good morning, Elzaan. Thank you very much for your interesting question. Just to recap, as far as I understand, your filly is a year and a half old. She's already 16 hands high, and she nips from time to time, especially if she's allowed to nibble on your clothes, and then it escalates to the point where she then starts snapping or grabbing on. And so it's very interesting. I think when you talk about that, I can appreciate that you don't want to smack her in her face because we don't want to make the horse head shy. So something that works really well is to give very direct and accurate feedback. So obviously we want to focus on the desired behaviors, and we want to increase desired behavior, and then we also want to decrease undesired behavior. So the important thing is to try and help the horse to understand the difference between what is a desired behavior and what is an undesired behavior, because in the horse's mind, if they get rewarded, and if that reward can be there's two fundamental things that we as humans do. We either physically give the horse a reward, and so if we give that reward at the moment that the horse makes a mistake, the horse then associates the performing that undesired behavior with a reward, even though from our human perspective it's an undesired response. The horse doesn't know the difference between good and bad behavior. The horse only knows, if I get reinforced for a behavior, I'm going to keep doing it, and if I get punished for a different behavior, I'm going to stop doing it. So fundamentally, we need to help the horse to differentiate very clearly between a desired response and an undesired response, and we need to be able to give very direct and accurate feedback to let the horse know, yes, this is what I want. So for instance, when the horse is standing still out of your space, you want to reward her for standing still out of your space, and it's something that you can definitely do over the stable door. And you say that around feeding time she starts pawing, and she's really excitable when she hears the other horses getting fed. So she's obviously very highly food driven and very motivated by food. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. We just want to help her to understand that first she needs to offer us the behavior that we want before we give her what she wants. And if she wants a reward, then she needs to stand still and away from the door and stop pawing in order to get the reward. The other way that we reinforce the behavior, and might not be so obvious, is that when we pat the horse, or when we give them attention when they're naughty, or when they nip and we keep scratching them, or when they demand to be scratched, that also encourages the behavior. But again, from the horse's point of view, if there's a release of pressure, if they perform the undesired response, then in their mind they think that they've performed the desired response because there was a release of pressure. So even if you don't work with food and you just use pressure and release, your pressure has to happen as the horse offers the undesired response, and then your release has to happen the moment the horse offers the desired response. So you have to be very clear in your own mind. And so what I do for that is, when I work with horses on the lead, I actually stand with the in-hand whip facing them, and then I coil the rope in my hand, and I hold it up to the horse. So I'm actually setting her up to fail by allowing her to nibble on the rope. But the moment she nibbles on the rope, I then tap her with the in-hand whip below the knee on the cannon bone. So I think that's really important to understand, I think, that it is possible to decrease undesired behavior in this way. For one, you're not going to smack in the face, but you do need to give her direct and accurate feedback as she performs the undesired response. So as she tries to bite the rope, you're going to tap her with the whip on her front legs, no boots on the cannon bones. So when you watch how two colts, when they play in the paddock, they normally go for the lower part of the leg below the knee, and then they nip there, and then they collapse each other, and they wrestle and they spar with one another. But when we train and the horse is trying to nip us, the way that we let them know, no, this is not what I want, is to tap them below the knees. And then the moment she backs off and she relaxes, you can take the pressure off immediately, and or click and reward her for standing still out of your space. So it's definitely something that you want to work on sooner rather than later. And it's really just a matter of training her. What is the desired response and what is the undesired response? You can also train her to target, and you can also train it to stand on a car mat. All of these exercises will help it to become more patient, and if you play a little bit every day, very soon she'll know what the aim of the game is, because you don't necessarily want to withhold food and put it into a scarcity mindset, because that increases the anxiety. So don't take the food away and try and punish her in that way. I think rather reward her for the desired response, and then just give her direct and accurate feedback when she offers you a desired response, and then when she offers you an undesired response, give her pressure as feedback as she makes the mistake, like I explained with an hand whip on the cannon bone on either leg. If you're quick about it, they learn it very, very quickly. I think it's really just a matter of being able to give very direct and accurate feedback. So clearly reward the desired behavior, and clearly punish the undesired behavior. Very soon you'll see that she's going to start doing the desired behavior more and more. Thank you so much for your lovely question, and you must have a fantastic day.